On paper, I like Scotland in this game. I think the Claymores should be the team that wins. I like their quarterback. I like the way they throw downfield. They've got a nice running game with Goodman. Their defense looks strong as well. I think this is a team that should come in here and win on the road. But at the same time, there's so much emotion that if you tell me at the end that Rhein has won this game with all these great fans here inside this great historic stadium, it's not going to surprise me. So if you ask me my pick, I tell you I think Scotland's going to win. If you come to me at the end of the game and say you were wrong, I tell you, you know what? I knew there was a chance. I knew there was a chance because, hey, 24-6 last year. The home team won 24 times and lost only 6 throughout the entire season. That tells you how tough it is to win when you're away from home. In this game, I'm hoping that Tony Taylor is able to stay healthy because we've heard so many great things about him. Allocated by the Dallas Cowboys, has legs the size of trees, is a guy that seems to have a lot of tools. I think his backup Robinson, I think, is a good player too. Towards the end of last week, Scott Cloman really came on at wide receiver, and of course I think T is going to be fun to watch. And you know, defensively, those guys get a good push up the middle with guys like Brandon Miller, and they have a lot of guys that can kind of force the pocket, so I think that'll be fun to watch as well. He had 8 tackles and played extremely well, and it seemed like whenever we called a play, we were calling his name, so he'll be fun to watch as well. And again, he's the kind of guy that I talked about, flies around, jumps after the football, and remains active all the time. And they have a nice secondary with him and Deke Cooper and guys that can get after the ball and break up passes and maybe take one back the other way too. If you say the name T. Martin in the United States, people immediately think of the fact that he led the University of Tennessee to a national championship and was a big-time player. He hasn't played in 2 years. He's been behind Cordell Stewart in Pittsburgh. So I think a couple of things about last week. I think, number one, he had a lot of rust. Number two, his offensive line didn't give him any help. He had people on him all night. Any quarterback anywhere, I don't care if it's John Elway, Dan Marino, Steve Young, whoever it is, if you put pressure on them, they're going to be a different guy. So I think a couple things. I think he should be better today. He should be better as the season goes on, and he should be better as they figure out a way to kind of keep that wall in front of him solid and keep everybody off him. I think it was everybody. I don't know that I would single out anybody. I think, you know, you look at that a couple of ways. Amsterdam had a very good pass rush. They really got after him. Rhein fell behind in the game, and once you fall behind, they pretty much know you're not going to run. You have to pass, so the linemen just go in every time. They just shoot straight in. So that was an advantage for Amsterdam and a disadvantage for Rhein. So I wouldn't really single out anybody. I'd say they all probably had a game they'd rather forget, and they'd like to do a little bit better in the future.